What up, it is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads, where we do daily Dynasty football. We are doing something a little bit different. I've already done a mock draft with no landing spots, but we're going to be doing a mock Dynasty Football draft with landing spots. So if you rather would have it with landing spots, please comment or like the video so then I know that I should produce more videos with landing spots. I know some people have drafts before the actual NFL draft happens, which I wouldn't recommend that for leagues. I would recommend them to wait after the NFL draft happens because so many things change. But in this case, we went on Tankathon and they did a couple round mock draft. So we're just going to do that. And things may change, of course, and they might have a million mock drafts until then. But this is what we have so far. So I'm going to be doing the top 10 in this video, and I'll be doing 11 through 20 in the next video. So the number one pick in, of course, this Dynasty rookie draft. This is not a super flex league. This is just a regular league. Doesn't matter PPR or standard. It's about the same. So we're just going to do half point PPR. 1.01, Mr. Number One pick, still is going to be Najee Harris. In this case, he is the first round running back taken in this mock draft. And he actually goes to Tampa Bay in this draft. He was the 31st pick. I don't know if I really like that position overall. I mean, we talked about Najee Harris being a really complete back, and I think Tom Brady will be there for another year or two at least. I mean, Tom Brady doesn't seem to age like the rest of us do. But Najee Harris could be very similar to the Baltimore backfield of this last year. And so J.K. Dobbins went into the backfield, and there was Mark Ingram, and then there was Gus Edwards. I could see Ronald Jones, being Gus Edwards, a little bit of an annoyance the first year. And I could also see Leonard Fournette either be A, not on the team, or B, just being a running back that gets moved aside. That being said, there's Keyshawn Vaughn there, which I don't really care for Keyshawn Vaughn that much. So I don't think he's going to be a part of the league. Or part of the team. If Najee Harris is there, I see him being the Justice Hill type, where Justice Hill, non-existent. So Najee Harris, the only running back in the first round. And first round running back, you get that extra year of rookie contract. It's just that fifth year. It's nice to have. The number two pick, and this hasn't changed either, so it's going to be Travis Etienne. And in this case, he gets picked 5 picks later than Najee Harris, but he gets picked to Miami. And you could say that the running backs 2, 3, and 4 get picked in a better spot than Najee Harris, but Najee Harris just being, I think, the best talent of the bunch. Travis Etienne, again, a speed guy, really, really, really fast, acceleration, good contact balance. I think he'll be well on the Miami team. A lot of mocks that I've seen actually lately has been a Alabama Dolphins team, which you have Tua, you have Najee, and you have Devonta Smith. So I'd be interested to see if that happens. I know Miami was talking to Najee at the Senior Bowl, but in this case, this draft, Travis Etienne is the second running back taken to Miami. And with the third overall pick, now I've been fluctuating back and forth, but I really like this spot for Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams is the 68th pick. He's in the third round. And really when it comes to running backs, top three rounds is where you want the running back to be. If he's past that, let's just say he was drafted in the 4th round in Atlanta, Javonte Williams wouldn't not only be in the top 3, he would be probably shifted down into the later first round. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 picks difference here. Actually, in this case, it'd be more like 25 picks difference. In the NFL draft can shift talent and shift our thoughts as dynasty owners. So anyways, Javonte Williams, of course, is going to be the third running back. He's a 3-down running back. And in Atlanta, I really like this location for him. In this mock draft, Atlanta drafted Justin Fields as well. So I'm assuming that maybe Matt Ryan's not back in this mock draft. I'm not sure if they did trades or not in the Tankathon. But that could be interesting as well if they have. I mean, Javonte Williams would fit perfect in this offense. I mean, Gurley's done. He's only on a 1-year contract, but he's done for. And then they don't really have any other running backs. So I think Javonte Williams is in a really good spot. And I like Atlanta. I like Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Miami as 3 awesome spots for landings for running backs. And so number 4 is going to be Kenneth Gainwell. And so he actually goes 20 picks later than Javonte Williams. They only had 4 running backs drafted in the first 3 rounds. And that just kind of shows the parity, I guess, of running backs. There's 4 really good ones. Chuba Hubbard might be the 5th, might not be, depending on who you talk to. And then there's a huge drop off to 6 and below. And that's why running backs are so important in this draft specifically. If you're looking for one, I mean, top 4, I mean, it's top 4 or almost nothing. So that's why I picked those 4 running backs over the wide receivers personally. But Kenneth Gainwell, he goes to Pittsburgh. So again, another really good landing spot. I'm not sure. I mean, I would rather have actually probably one of the other running backs go to Pittsburgh. I mean, if I could switch Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh spot here, but I mean, you can't because it's a mock draft. I don't see exactly why Pittsburgh would draft Kenneth Gainwell, maybe versus, I mean, that's probably all they had left versus because they didn't have Javonte Williams. I mean, this is pick 88 already. So I'm just trying to get the mindset of why they're more of a bruising type. They want the bigger running back. They want the 5'10", 220-pound running back like Javonte Williams. But Kenneth Gainwell is smaller, 5'10", and then he's only 195 pounds. So he is more of a, I say CMC, college CMC, and that's kind of how I've compared him to in my things. Not NFL strong, 215-pound CMC, the college Stanford CMC. So the number 5th pick, we finally get a wide receiver, and this is the Alabama Dolphins right here. Wide receiver number 1 is going to be Devonta Smith, and he goes to the 3rd pick overall, and this is very, very common pick for Devonta Smith. And in fact, the last 10 mocks I've looked at, I think Devonta Smith has gone to the number 3 pick, almost all of them. And it makes sense. They need a wide receiver. He fits well with Tua. He's played with Tua. I think that's a really good match made in heaven there. And compared to where Jamar Chase is, which you'll see in a second, I really, really like Miami as a spot for a wide receiver. Even if it wasn't Devonta Smith, if it was somebody else like Jamar Chase or Bateman, later in the first, if they use their 18th pick on the first, I would have liked that pick as well, just as much. So Devonta Smith is my wide receiver number 1. And in this case, I think it's pretty easily number 1 because Jamar Chase is my wide receiver number 2, and he's picked number 6th overall in this rookie draft, and he just goes to Philly. And Philly has the 6th pick in the draft, so he's the 6th pick in rookie draft and the 6th pick overall in NFL draft in this one. And Philly is just not a great spot that I like. We don't know what's going on with Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz goes halfway through the year and all of a sudden is not the quarterback, and all of a sudden we go to Jalen Hurts, we also have Jalen Reagor, who has a lot of talent, and now you're going to have Jalen Reagor, and you're going to have Jamar Chase with a maybe limited passing upside offense, or an offense that has struggled. There's just a lot of variables, and I really don't care for Philly's offense at this point. And I mean, if we just said, Jamar Chase is going on the Giants, we again would probably be just like, ugh, that's not great. That's not a spot that we care for. But his talent is above the rest of the wide receivers that are left pretty much. Him and Bateman are close, but so if you look at where we're at, I mean, you have to draft Jamar Chase. Even if you don't really care for the landing spot too much, you have to go with talent. This is where you're weighing talent and opportunity, which is kind of why I like doing some of these drafts. They're kind of fun. Number 7, this is where we get our first tight end. And I love this spot. So if I have one of 2 spots to pick Kyle Pitts in, it's going to be either Dallas or Arizona. In this case, it's Arizona with the 16th overall pick. And this is the 7th pick in our rookie draft here. And in tight end premium, I mean, we're talking if he goes to Arizona or Dallas, I mean, he could be the 3rd pick overall, 4th pick overall. Up there. I mean, that is how high Kyle Pitts can go. He is a monster. 6'6", 245, 250 pounds. Imagine Kyler Murray having that across the middle of the field. He tried using Dan Arnold. He tried using anybody across the middle of the field, and it seemed like the only person that could be consistent on that field was Nuke. And he used a lot of DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, 160 targets to DeAndre Hopkins is a ton, the most and I just don't see that he can repeat that almost again to DeAndre Hopkins. It needs to spread the ball around a little bit more. And they're a high offense octane. Like you could see Kyle Pitts, even though DeAndre Hopkins didn't get a lot of touchdowns, you could see Kyle Pitts getting some of these red zone touchdowns. I know Kyler Murray runs the ball, which can be annoying, but I could really see Kyle Pitts being that difference maker of maybe helping some of the struggles that they had within the 20. So Kyle Pitts, my number one tight end, and at Arizona, I mean, you could even make an argument to put him ahead of Chase at this point because, I mean, Arizona is a really, really good spot. And Kyle Pitts is a monster, man. He is really, really good. Number 8, we get our first quarterback, and this is where, just because it's like, if I really liked a wide receiver and a wide receiver landing spot here, I'd be like, all right, we're jumping wide receiver over Lawrence. But in this case, he's going to the Jags. We know he's going to the Jags. And this is the location, him and basically Devonta Smith. Him and Devonta Smith are basically going to be in those spots. At least that's my prediction. We know 100% Trevor Lawrence is going there. Unless Urban Meyer does something crazy, which he shouldn't do anything crazy. Just pick Trevor Lawrence, have him for the next 10, 15 years. And that's what you're going to have in Dynasty football, too. You're going to have him for the next 10, 15 years. And again, an argument is made if some of these wide receivers you don't like the spots of, if you don't like Chase and Philly as well, you can move Trevor Lawrence and Kyle Pitts above Chase. And if Devonta Smith ends up going somewhere bad, like let's just say Miami passes on him and he goes to Washington or something, and you don't like either of those, you can move a quarterback and tight end ahead of these wide receivers. And if some of these running backs, again, fall either past round 3 or they go into a horrible spot, if one of them goes to Buffalo or something like that, and you're just like, ugh, why would they do that? Well, then you can move them down as well. So, again, Trevor Lawrence, QB1, pick 1 of the draft, of course. Pick number 8 here. So, we go to pick 9. This is my wide receiver number 3. This is Rashad Bateman. The spot of his is meh. It's the Colts. It's a first-round pick. It's the 21st overall pick with the Colts. It is what it is. They have Michael Pittman that I really do like. Paris Campbell hopefully will come back. I mean, he's had 2 injuries now in back-to-back years. Paris Campbell's a different wide receiver than Rashad Bateman. But Bateman and Pittman kind of play similar. So, and we don't know who the quarterback is. If you tell me tomorrow that Matt Ryan is all of a sudden a Colt or somebody, I know that Colts have even tried to go after Deshaun Watson and stuff like that, which I don't think is going to happen in division. If something happens where Rashad Bateman and Michael Pittman, let's say, have a quarterback for the Colts, I mean, that would definitely maybe rise him or keep him at this level. But right now, we just don't know with the Colts. We really don't know, so he's just going to stick here at 9, and we'll figure out who the Colts have as quarterback. Maybe they even draft a quarterback. We don't know yet. But they have a good offensive line. They have a good offense. I mean, they have Jonathan Taylor. They have the rest of the pieces. They just need a quarterback. All right, number 10, we're going to finalize this video with Ronald Moore. He's my wide receiver 4 in this draft. And so the wide receivers and the running backs, pretty much all this kind of stayed the same relatively, but some of the positions may have shifted, like Kyle Pitts moved up, and then Trevor Lawrence kind of stayed the same, maybe slightly moved up. But in this case, Ronald Moore goes to the Detroit Lions, which have no one there. They have Jared Goff there at quarterback, but they have just Quintus Cephas. They have Geronimo Allison. They got to get a free agent wide receiver. In this case, they drafted Ronald Moore at the 41st pick in the second round. I honestly don't think he'll make it that long in the draft. So I'm very shocked that he actually fell to 10 picks into the second round almost. But in this case, Ronald Moore, I think he will be a decent fantasy producer here. And teaser, his spot is better than Jalen Waddle's. So I liked Ronald Moore at 10 versus Jalen Waddle, who will be in the second round, or in the second 10 picks of this next fake mock draft. All right. So Ronald Moore, again, my 10th wide receiver, going to be used a lot, kind of like that Percy Harvin type. So think about that. Lots of short routes, run after catch, just quickness, speed, all of that stuff that Ronald Moore brings. So number 11 through 20, we are going to be doing on our next. We're going to be doing it tomorrow. So just spoiler for that. We have a couple different tight ends, quarterbacks, more wide receivers. That's pretty much it. So you'll get to see the rest of this. If you do like these kind of landing spot dependent or landing spot mock drafts, let me know. Comment. Say, hey, I really like these. Or, hey, you know what? Just do a mock draft without landing spots. That's fine, too. There's not a lot that changes from now to the NFL draft besides maybe individual workouts and stuff like that. So I personally am kind of liking the feel of doing a mock draft with some of these teams. And there's some mocks I've seen that I might want to do a draft of because there's some landing spots that are absolutely horrible. This just so happened where there wasn't any landing spots that are horrible, but it's nice to see, if Kyle Pitts goes to 49ers, how far would he drop? Would he be the tight end one taken? These are questions that we have to kind of just bring in our head. I mean, most of us are bored. It's like 0 degrees outside for me, so I have nothing else. I can't go outside and sit in the sun. So, well, whatever. That is what it is. But this is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. Please subscribe if you liked the video, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, take care.